Summer's pretty noisy, huh? Just cut this lantana earlier this week, and it's already leaning back over the path again. I'm gonna have to cut some more. The last couple days have been full of errands, so I haven't gotten as much done outside or on the camper as I would like. But we did get this sink detached. I was having a hard time. I got the cabinet loose and got everything done, but I could not loosen the faucet. It was so tight, and there's no room to get your hands in there. But luckily, my husband has a plumber's tool. We were able to get it. That tomato in the big blue bucket, I started that out inside by my dining room windows when it was still too cold to plant outside. They grew really tall, spindly. I had to put a screw up near the ceiling to attach some cord to hold it up because it was real weak. So when it was warm enough, I brought it out and I planted it. And most of the original plant died back and it had a whole bunch of new growth, but part of it broke off, and I planted that in the black bucket, and that one's doing really well too. So I got two nice plants out of one. I've got a lot of tomatoes that are planted in ground out in the big garden. But I do plant in pots and in the garden, sometimes to experiment, sometimes to keep some stuff away from critters that like to dig, because I have that here. But I did finish getting it weeded down here where I have a lot of pots where I plant onion seeds and stuff. I do have some yet in the garden, in the ground, but I like to keep some close to the door, you know, back door, so that when I'm cooking and about to have dinner, if we want green onions or something, I can run out and get them. And I got most of this cleaned up and done. I don't know if I'll ever get a banana, but it'd be lovely. This will be my first year. I've got this banana tree, but I've got one out in the main garden as well. And I've got a couple of eggplants in pots here and some out in the garden. I got eggplants on these, but the ones in the garden does not have any yet. But they were kind of blocked from the sunlight a bit by some tomato plants. And those are just volunteer peanuts that, I guess there was one in that bucket. And this is a toothache plant. And if you eat those yellow flowers, chew on them, it will numb your mouth. And I did manage to weed that area and I moved the watermelons and vines back so I could get that weeded. But there's my two little watermelons. These are yacon plants. I have these two. I have one up on the deck in a big pot like this, and I have 3 in the garden. I originally got 7 rhizomes that I ordered on Etsy, and one of them didn't produce anything. 3 of them in the garden are, but that could just be that they looked perfectly healthy when I got them. I'm thinking a critter may have dug that one up. Again, I have those here. And I also ordered some Jicama seeds. I've got 4 in this pot, and I've got 3 in another one several feet away. I ordered the seeds, 20 came in. They came in pretty fast, that was pretty impressive, but only 7 produced plants, so I was really disappointed with the germination rate. I don't know if they were old seeds or, or what, but we'll see what happens with these. And I'm planting these in pots because I've never grown them, and I have seen them on YouTube videos planted in raised beds, so I figured this would work. And I'll take you around and show you our critters. We've got, it's kind of blurry, sorry about that. We've got our ducks, and they've got 2 hot tubs. I've never owned a hot tub. These were given to us for our ducks. They don't work. And there's our chickens. And in that cage over there would be my quail. I have Bob White and Caturnix. I have to walk like Joe Biden if I try to walk in with all these chickens. They're always right up under your feet. So we won't do that. And let's see, around here I have my corn. The ginger I just put in the ground, and I have some squash and stuff planted among those. And these are my fruit trees that I have not planted yet. Started taking that, well, we didn't start taking it apart. It kind of fell apart. The camper that we're going to work on. It's lovely. And those windows came from replacing those in the house. I want to use those for a greenhouse. And over here I've got some tomato plants. They were in the ground on the other side of the garden. They were struggling, so I brought them over and put them in pots, and they kicked right off. And I had a few cucumber plants that were kind of late germinating. So I just brought them out here and cut a hole in the fabric and put them straight in the ground. And this is a Chayote Squash that I germinated. I tried germinating 2, but only 1 did. It's starting to grow all the way up. And then on this side I've got more tomato plants. I guess I threw some beans in there, and the beans are growing way up. Another tomato plant. That's another cucumber plant. And then this is, let's see, these are tangerine tomatoes. They haven't produced yet. They're looking good. More beans. Those are creeping cucumbers that just, I didn't plant them over here. They were on the other side of the house and managed to come over here. And then the tall stuff is Sunchokes. And this is either grape or muscadine. And the reason I say that, I had a grapevine planted, and when we were digging a new line for the septic, my grapevine got ripped out of the ground, so I thought it was gone. But there are wild muscadines around here, so you know, that could be either or. We don't know yet. And I've got, my lemon boys are starting to die back. The tomatoes that I've been harvesting have been coming off the 3 rows, the 3 plants in the back here mainly. These I haven't got ripe tomatoes yet. They were put in after those. And I've got pepper plants here. I've got pepper plants here. There is some ginger mixed in. And this is a different variety of pepper. And this is turmeric mixed in. There's more bean plants. I'm so excited. They are finally starting to get little beans on them. I have been seeing blooms for the longest time and just was not getting any beans, and thinking maybe the bee situation has changed or something, and maybe I'm getting a few more bees now. And then I've got more sunchokes here. This is asparagus here. I've got to weed and clean my mound and get it replanted. That's where I had all my garlic growing and harvested it. And I've got more beans over there on that are starting. They're not green beans, they're a type of lima. I'm not sure if I'll get any this year or not, we'll see. And this is more green beans. Dale really likes green beans. And more asparagus. A couple other things mixed in. And then more green beans. Got pepper and squashes and stuff mixed in. Got more potatoes growing. I've already harvested potatoes a couple times this year. There's more green beans. That was green beans that fell over in a storm, so a lot of those died. And over here, there's another banana tree. And these are more of my yacons here. There's one, there's one, and there's one over there. This is gold tomatoes. Not producing yet. Got a couple of pepper plants on each side of the banana tree. And these are my taro roots. They're looking really pretty. And another type of tomato. This is more of a grape, grape tomato. More pepper plants. I had so many seed come up for pepper plants. I figured I'd put them in the ground. If I get them, if I get more than I can use, I'll dry them. Dehydrate them. And this is just where I dug a bunch of plants out of my garden and threw in this old wheelbarrow. I want to move it. And that's one of my angel trumpets. Those things are so pretty. It gets kind of a salmony pink flower on it. And I've got my different fruit trees. I've really got to get these blackberry bushes dug out. They just spread too many of them. And that is ginger lily, but it's not edible. I'm gonna dig all that up and get that away from the garden so that if anybody lives here after me, they don't eat it. And I really need to move that fig tree. It's too close to my drive to the back. I've got that big fig tree over there by the house. And our camper's over there on our other property. So we've got about 3 acres total. I haven't really worked on the trailer very much in the last couple days due to the errands. I haven't worked on it at all today. Yesterday I came out and did the cabinet in the bathroom and ran into the problem with the faucet. So got kind of, ooh, it's getting dark. So I haven't got the cabinet completely out yet. Still got to get the shut-off valves on there, but I did get them. You know, they came in, so that's why I started taking the cabinet off. And I got to get the toilet out so we can do the floor. Or I can do the floor. It's going to be me. But that's where I'm at today. And I'm tired. It's been a long day.